Is YouTube photography dying? It definitely feels like something's been going on over the last couple years. At the very least, it's changed. Maybe even just a little bit. But the change has changed in a way that's got me concerned as someone who really started out obsessing over and enjoying the whole YouTube photography community. I feel like it's changed in a way that's brought it further away from its former glory. And that's something that I think we as people interested in photography on YouTube need to do a little bit of work to bring things back to its former glory, or at least its newfound glory. I think we really need to focus on bringing YouTube photography back to a place that inspires creativity and is packed with originality, a place where we can spend hours doing and watching stuff we love. YouTube videos about photography, street photography, camera gear, fun challenges, things like that. That's what this video is about. So I fell in love with photography not because I loved photography, not at all. About 16 or 17 years ago, I started getting really interested in photography because I found a YouTube channel that kept me entertained for literally like an hour every night. It was called Digital Rev TV. At the time, that channel produced videos presented by two of my favorite YouTubers of all time, a guy named Wong and his sidekick, Locke. These guys were pumping out awesome content for years of content that I think shaped the broader YouTube photography community and probably turned out a bunch of pro photographers in the process. But after a while, that stopped. Digital Rev switched up their presenters and the content changed. And for me, it was kind of that change when Digital Rev swapped out Kai and Locke that I noticed a broader change happening in the YouTube photography community. The content was starting to really get hyper-focused around brand releases, and it kind of became this content machine where everything was just getting washed, rinsed, and repeated. And that's something I think we need to work on reversing, or at least changing. Now, I'm just using Digital Rev as an example, because honestly, a couple years ago, Kai actually started a new YouTube channel by his name. It's called Kai W.
Cardboard box.
And him and Locke are back at it again, creating hilarious videos, entertaining videos that he just infuses with his own unique charm. Really awesome stuff. I love the channel, highly recommend it. And the reason I use him as an example is because he's not just creating content that is obviously just sponsored videos that the brand wants. He's not just creating that type of stuff. Which brings me to my main point in this video. Photography YouTube has become a revolving door of camera reviews, a lot of which are sponsored videos paid for by the camera manufacturers. And a lot of the times they're reviews that are comparisons that somehow always seem to favor or point out how this new camera is the latest and greatest thing that everybody needs. But the reality is we've had amazing cameras for years, and a lot of the times these changes are so minor, but the cycle just pumps out content after content, inflating our feeds with this type of stuff. It's literally gotten to the point where if I get the itch to buy a new camera or piece of camera gear, I know I can just type in the name of that piece of gear and only need to watch the first couple videos because they're all pretty much going to be the same. And honestly, I think I understand why this is to an extent. The way YouTube as a platform has evolved has creators like me chasing views to a point. And honestly, in this day and age, what better way to get views than to create content that's targeting commonly searched keywords every time a hot new product is released? I get it. And I've been guilty of being a slave to the algorithm at times myself. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not. But honestly, I think that cycle is killing a big part of photography YouTube and taking away a lot of the creativity, uniqueness, and charm that brought so many of us, people like me who got into photography because of YouTube. It's kind of pushing away the content that got us started in the first place. Take this week as an example. Fujifilm just released their newest camera, the GFX 100 II. A total beast of a camera. And it's only been like a day, and already I'm seeing a lot of the major YouTubers who've probably gotten pre-release editions of the equipment spitting out videos, largely the same videos. And I get it, it's a new release. How could they be much different? I get that. But I can guarantee that for the next week or two or longer, every YouTuber in the photography community is going to get on board with talking about that release, regardless of whether or not they use it. Of course, there will be a few exceptions, but that's the way it's going. And again, it's fine. We need videos, we need first looks, we need reviews of new equipment. I'm not saying we don't. I'm just making a comment on how things feel nowadays. And kind of one of the main points of this rant is that we as a community need to get back to creating the type of content that once fed our souls as photographers or photography enthusiasts on YouTube. The type of content that initially made us love photography and not just love photography gear. And there are already quite a few channels that are doing this, channels that I've discovered that I love and I think can be used as great inspiration for how you might be able to, or I might be able to do this to kind of help raise the tide for all of us. Here's a couple of them. So Wong, I already mentioned him earlier in this video, but to this day I find that although he does do a lot of reviews, he still finds a way to keep things fresh. He does a super Bokeh Bros vlog style video series with his pal Locke that's really fun to watch. And he's still making the same old standard type of camera videos, but instilled and infused with his hilarious, unique charm. Love his channel. Another great channel that does photography YouTube really well is one called North Borders. It's run by an Australian guy named Mike, and him and his buddies are notorious for doing these insanely intense photography challenges where they'll pair up, go crazy through a city trying to get a specific shot or the best shot. It's almost like The Amazing Race for photography if you've ever seen that show. It's great, it's entertaining, it's unique, and it shows a part of these people that love photography. They're doing what they love with their friends and they're building content around that, all while staying true to what this creator really loves to do, which is take pictures of fancy sports cars, which he also incorporates into the channel that gives it that unique flavor. And probably one of the most unique channels that I recently discovered that I'm still trying to figure out is a channel called GX Ace. I did a bit of research. It's run by a guy named Casey Kavanaugh, and honestly, I'm still trying to figure out this channel. I don't even know how to describe it really. I guess I would say video essay style videos that either talk about photography, gear, or whatever, and as he's talking through the video, he's telling a story while also showcasing some really stunning photographs and shots that he's taken and edited. And the intro of these videos is really what kind of sucked me in at first. I assume it's Casey, but it's almost like he's doing the introduction where he's like all cyborgified. He's got wires going into his head. He's got a voice changer on. It's just really jarring and like it's captivating. The first video I saw, I just had to keep watching and subscribe. It's super unique, and he's turned doing these YouTube style photography videos into like an art form that's really beautiful. Unique, entertaining, creative, inspiring. That's the net of all of these channels. These are the types of channels that make you want to go out there and create stuff. And that's the rant. This is the type of stuff we need more of. And I'm a novice in the world of photography content creation, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure it out. And that's actually one of my goals for the next couple years, finding ways to combine what I want to do with creating videos around creative entrepreneurship, photography, and YouTube, and finding a way to spice it up where not only can these videos be informative, but also entertaining and inspiring for the next generation of potential photography enthusiasts who are just now turning to YouTube for photography. Because I think it would be pretty sad if in 10 years anyone Googling anything related to photography are just bombarded with gear reviews and nothing that just feeds the soul and gets them hooked. That's my point here. Anyways, this rant was sprung based on a pretty awesome conversation I had with another Canadian photography YouTuber at a wedding this weekend. It really got my creative juices flowing, thinking that, you know what, this is something that I've lost a taste for on YouTube, and it's something that I think us as a community need to work on fixing, because if we don't, and every video that we churn out is just a generic gear review or a sponsored post, then who knows, maybe in 10 to 15 years, photography YouTube will be run by AI entirely and we'll just be observers.